for the fooling. Mental slaves sell out or get bought out for cooning. Being your example to follow with no strain. Meant means man, so govern and entertain is more than you imagine. Carbon is melanin. Quran and Bible angels are cherubim and seraphim. Riding on the light angles, traveling at warp speed. We created crossbreeds, now we can't walk free. The mind is the plantation. Everything is mental. Even filling your brother with lead like a pencil. Mercenaries with chalk use bodies as a stencil. If rival gangs won't stop you, barbed wire fence will. It could take more, but it might take less. Cursing your God on Job's cash in the fake checks. Spending fake monopoly money, counterfeit at best. When you see something is wrong, you need to counter it best as you can. You don't need a magic wand or to click your heels twice to escape dreamland. Just use your mind. If you can't relate, you're living in an illusion. Slave to the dream state. You just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state. As Negro and black, we act like we can't see straight. Shake them by the shoulders, wake them from their dream state. If you just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state. As Negro and black, we act like we can't see straight. Shake them by their shoulders, wake them from their dream state.
Islam, and greetings, Moors. Welcome back to another episode of Pardon the Interjection. I'm just getting over being a little hoarse, so please bear with me. Thank you, and I appreciate it. Nothing but love for you, family. Here on Pardon the Interjection, we dig up information to divulge to the people in the upliftment of fallen humanity. And again, I say, I would like to give high honors, extremely high honors. I can't take enough breath to thank and give honors to my brother, my prophet, your prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I went and I came across something that is very vital, I think, and I know to our people, and I think it should be definitely we should keep putting it out there, because we do know that that there is something out there that's not good, waiting for those who have no nationality, because we know nationality is the order of the day. It's the order of the day. And if you don't have nationality, you have nothing. You have nothing. You are nothing. You're considered nothing or no thing without a nationality. You're considered it or property. We know that there's certain entities that want to see us as a people gone, or how should I say, not existing, but we've always existed. We are the descendants of the mothers and fathers of civilization. You know, it's a beautiful, beautiful time, because there's a lot of information that's out there, and there's a lot of information that's coming to light. And I want to go into something that I found really interesting. It is called silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. An Introduction Programming Manual. Operations Research Technical Manual. And it does have a foreword, and then it does have a preface. But I don't want to get into the preface. I want to go to table of contents. And the table of contents reads: forward, preface, security, historical introduction, political introduction, energy, descriptive introduction of the silent weapon, theoretical introduction, general energy concepts, Mr. Rothschild's energy discovery, apparent capital as paper inductor, breakthrough, pardon me, application in economics, the economic model, industrial diagrams, 3 industrial classes, aggregation, the E model, economic inducents, inductive factors to consider, translation, time flow, relationships and self-destructive oscillations. I want to read that one again, because that one, listen deep to that. Time flow, relationships, and self-destructive oscillations. Industry equivalent circuits, stages of schematic simplification, generalization, final bill of goods, the technical coefficients, the household industry, household models, economic shock testing, introduction to the theory of shock testing, example of shock testing, wow, introduction to economic amplifiers, short list of inputs, short list of outputs, table of strategies, diversion, the primary strategy, diversion, summary, consent, the primary victory. Pardon the interjection. I want to read that one. That one's really cool. I don't think we're going to get that one today because there's a lot here, but eventually we're going to do all this over a series of shows. But it says consent, the primary victory, amplification, energy sources, logistics, the artificial womb, and that's WOMB, pardon me, the political structure of a nation, dependency, action, offense, responsibility, summary, system analysis, the draft, and enforcement. Now, that was just a table of contents, and I want to go in because it says the following document dated May 1979 was found on July 7th, 1986 in an IBM copier that had been purchased at a surplus sale. And top secret, silent weapons for quiet wars, operations research technical manual, TMSW 7905.1. Welcome aboard. This publication marks the 25th anniversary of the Third World War. Wow. This application, partner interjection, says this publication marks the 25th anniversary of the Third World War. So it's 25 years, then the Third World War has already been established, okay, called the Quiet War, being conducted using subjective biological warfare fought with silent weapons. This book contains an introductory description of this war, its strategies, and its weaponry. May 1979, number 74-1120. Security. It is patently impossible to discuss social engineering or the automation of a society, i.e., the engineering of social automation systems, silent weapons in parentheses, on a national or worldwide scale without implying extensive objectives of social control and destruction of human life, i.e., slavery and genocide. This manual is in itself an analog declaration of intent. Such a writing must be secured from public scrutiny. Otherwise, it might be recognized as a technical, formal declaration of domestic war. Furthermore, whenever any person or group of persons in a position of great power and without full knowledge and consent of the public uses such knowledge and methodologies for economic conquest, it must be understood that a state of domestic warfare exists between said person or group of persons and the public. The solution to today's problems requires an approach with this ruthlessly candid, with no agonizing over religious, moral, or cultural values. You have qualified for this project because of your ability to look at human society with cold objectivity, and yet analyze and discuss your observations and conclusions with others of similar intellectual capacity without the loss of discretion or humility. Such virtues are exercised in your own best interest. Do not deviate from them. Historical introduction. Silent weapon technology has evolved from operations research, OR, a strategic and tactical methodological developed under the military management in England during World War II. The original purpose of operations research was to study the strategic and tactical problems of air and land defense, with the objective of effective use of limited military resources against foreign enemies, i.e., logistics. It was soon recognized by those in positions of power that the same methods might be useful for totally controlling a society, but better tools were necessary. Social engineering, the analysis and automation of a society, in parentheses, requires the correlation of great amounts of constantly changing economic information, data. So, a high-speed computerized data processing system was necessary, which could race ahead of the society and predict when society would arrive for a calculation. Relay computers were too slow, but the electronic computer, invented in 1946 by J. Presper Eckert and John W. Maltby, filled the bill. The next breakthrough was the development of the simplex method of linear programming in 1947 by the mathematician George B. Dantzig, Dantzig. Then, in 1948, the transistor invented by J. Bardeen, Bardeen, W. H. Bratton, and W. Shockley, promised great expansion of the computer field by reducing space and power requirements. With three inventions under their direction, those in positions of power strongly suspected that it was possible for them to control the whole world with just the push of a button. Immediately, the Rockefeller Foundation got in on the ground floor by marketing a 4-year grant to Harvard College, funding the Harvard Economic Research Project for the study of the structure of the American economy. 1 year later, in 1949, the United States Air Force joined in. In 1952, the grant period terminated, and a high-level meeting of the elite was held to determine the next phase of a social operations research. The Harvard project had been very fruitful, as is borne out by the publication of such of its results in 1953, suggesting the feasibility of economic, social, engineering studies in the structures of the American economy, copyrighted 1953 by Wesley Leontief, International Science Press, Inc., White Plains, New York. Okay. Engineered in the last half of the decade of the 1940s, the new quiet war machine stood, so to speak, in sparkling gold-plated hardware on the showroom floor by 1954. With the creation of the Maser in 1954, the promise of unlocking unlimited sources of fusion atomic energy from the heavy hydrogen in seawater and the consequent availability of unlimited social power was a possibility only decades away. The combination was irresistible. The quiet war was quietly declared by the international elite at a meeting held in 1954. Pardon the interjection. Pay attention to the timeline. 1954. And we continue. Although the silent weapons system was nearly exposed 13 years later, the evolution of the new weapon system has never suffered any major setbacks. This volume marks the 25th anniversary of the beginning of the Quiet War. Already, this domestic war has had many victories on many fronts throughout the world. Political introduction. In 1954, it was well recognized by those in positions of authority that it was only a matter of time, only a few decades before the general public would be able to grasp and upset the cradle of power, for the very elements of the new silent weapon technology was as accessible for a public utopia as they were for providing a private utopia. The issue of primary concern, that of dominance, revolved around the subject of the energy sciences. Energy. Energy is recognized as the key to all activity on Earth. Natural science is the study of the sources and control of natural energy, and social science, theoretically expressed as economics, is the study of the sources and control of social energy. Both are bookkeeping systems. Mathematics is the primary energy science, and the bookkeeping can be king if the public can be kept ignorant of the mythology of the bookkeeping. All science is merely a means to an end. The means is knowledge. The end is control. Beyond this remains only one issue. Who will be the beneficiary? Pardon the interjection. Now that says a lot. That says a lot right there. Beyond that, who would be the beneficiary? All right? That goes back to us saying we heirs, Moors to the land, we heirs. Pardon the interjection, and we continue. In 1954, this was the issue of primary concern. Although the so-called moral issues were raised in view of the law of natural selection, it was agreed that a nation or world of people who would not use their intelligence or no better than animals who do not have intelligence. Such people are beasts of burden and stakes on the table by choice and consent. See, pardon the interjection. Now this goes back to not having a nationality. Not having a nationality. They're telling you plain and simple, right? If you don't use your brain and think and be intelligent, like don't be a nigger, don't be dumb, don't be stupid, don't do dumb shit. Think, use your brain. Like the prophet said, if I can just get my people to think, and they will save themselves. He's telling you right here in these papers, in these documents, that they can control people. Because people don't think. And people who don't think, a nation that don't think, a nation now, a world of people that do not think are no better than animals and our food. Alright? Pardon the interjection. And we can continue. Consequently, in the interest of future world order, peace, and tranquility, it was decided to privately wage a quiet war against the American public with an ultimate objective of permanently shifting the natural and social energy, wealth in parentheses, of the undisciplined and irresponsible many into the hands of the self-disciplined, responsible, and worthy few. Wow. Wow. In order to implement this objective, it was necessary to create, secure, and apply new weapons, which, as it turned out, were a class of weapons so subtle and so sophisticated in their principle of operation and public appearance as to earn for themselves the name silent weapons. In conclusion, the objective of economic research as conducted by the magnates of capital, banking in parentheses, and the industries of commodities, goods in parentheses, and services, is the establishment of an economy which is totally predictable and manipulable. In order to achieve a totally predictable economy, the low class elements of society must be brought under total control, i.e., must be housebroken, trained, and assigned a yoke in long term social duties from a very early age before they have an opportunity to question the propriety of the matter. In order to achieve such conformity, the low class family unit must be dis in hold on, pardon the interjection. Okay, gotcha. Alright, okay. Pardon the interjection, and we continue. In order to achieve such conformity, the lower class family unit must be disintegrated by a process of increasing preoccupation of the parents and the establishment of government operated daycare centers for the occupationally orphaned children. The quality of education given to the lower class must be of the poorest sort, so that the mote of ignorance isolating the inferior class from the superior class is the remains incomprehensible to the inferior class, which such an initial handicap even bright lower class individuals have little, if any, hope of extricating themselves from their assigned lot in life. This from a slavery is essential to maintain such measures of social order, peace, and tranquility for the ruling upper class. Descriptive introduction of the silent weapon. Everything that is expected from an ordinary weapon is expected from a silent weapon by its creators, but only in its own manner of functioning. It shoots situations instead of bullets, propelled by data processing instead of chemical reaction, explosions in parentheses, originating from bits of data instead of grains of gunpowder, from a computer instead of a gun, operated by a computer programmer instead of a marksman, under the orders of a banking magnate instead of a military general. It makes no obvious explosive noises, causes no obvious physical or mental injuries, and does not obviously interfere with anyone's daily social life. Yet, it makes an unmistakable noise, causes unmistakable physical and mental damage, and unmistakably interferes with the daily social life, i.e., unmistakable to a trained observer, one who knows what to look for. The public cannot comprehend this weapon, and therefore cannot believe that they are being attacked and subdued by a weapon. The public might instinctively feel that something is wrong, but that is because of the technical nature of the secret silent weapon. They cannot express their feeling in a rational way or handle the problem with intelligence. Therefore, they do not know how to cry for help and do not know how to associate with others to defend themselves against it. When a silent weapon is applied gradually, the public adapts to its presence, and learns to tolerate its encroachment on their lives until the pressure, psychological via economic, becomes too great and they crack up. Therefore, the silent weapon is a type of biological weapon. It attacks the validity, options, and mobility of the individual of a society by knowing, understanding, manipulating, and attacking their sources of natural and social energy, and their physical, mental, and emotional strengths and weaknesses. Now, we're going to hold it on right there because there's a lot more that's going to be coming with this. And we're going to go into another set on that. And again, like I say, that is silent weapons for quiet war. Excuse me, please, pardon me, please look into that and get that. That is a great read. Again, family, like I say, we'll be continuing this, reading this document in different segments. But it's very interesting what they have planned. You know, they planned this to take over you and your land, to dumb you down, to make you not think, not be intellectual. And a Prophet Noble Drew Ali tell you, if I can get my people to think, just think, and they can save themselves. So, again, like I said, with that being said, the information is out there. Please seek it. Go get it. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. And it's not up to you to beat them in the head with it. Give it to them. You read it. They don't want to read it. They don't get it. Then, hey, don't waste more time. If they get it, roll with it. If they don't, then hey, roll without it. Because at the end of the day, the Prophet came with information to save a nation. Now take it to save yourself. Don't be no ball and chain. Trying to put a ball and chain on people to, get this information. If they don't get it, they won't get it. They're going to be food and continue to be food. All right? Like I say, always, don't believe me, go check it out. And you'll be amazed at the jewels you'll find on your treasure hunt. I'm your host, Supreme L. This has been another episode of Partner Interjection. I will return with more episodes of this Silent Weapons for Quiet War series. As I say, Islam, love, and peace forevermore.
Dreamy and drooling, falling for the fooling. Mental slaves sell out or get bought out for cooning. Being your example to follow with no strain. Meant means mind, so govern and entertain is more than you imagine. Carbon is melanin, Quran and Bible angels are cherubim and seraphim. Riding on the light angles, traveling at warp speed. We created crossbreeds, now we can't walk free. The mind is the plantation, everything is mental. Even filling your brother with lead like a pencil. Mercenaries with chalk use bodies as a stencil. If rival gangs won't stop you, barbed wire fence will. It could take more, but it might take less. Cursing your God on Job's cash in the fake checks. Spending fake monopoly money, counterfeit at best. When you see something is wrong, you need to counter it best as you can. You don't need a magic wand or to click your heels twice to escape dreamland. Just use your mind. If you can't relate, you're living in an illusion, slave to the dream state. You just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state. As Negro and black, we act like we can't see straight. Shake them by the shoulders, wake them from their dream state. If you just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state. As Negro and black, we act like we can't see straight. Shake them by their shoulders, wake them from their dream state.